Look, if you're an event planner and you haven't had a chance to really interact with an object-oriented database before, aka like a CRM or marketing automation platform, there's a natural order to things. And there are limitations that you'll run up against. So you've got a contact record, a person record inside of a CRM. And against that person's record is their first name, their last name, their whatever data points you want to have. And then
Mhm.
there's a relationship that they need to have to other things like the company they work for, the products that they purchased from you. These are not underneath their primary record. They're attached to it in some other type of object.
It's like a web.
It's a web. It's
Yeah.
100% a web. Now, when you think about an event in a speaking session, there's a database decision that needs to be made. How do I capture the sessions that they've submitted, right? Do I need that information in my CRM ever for any other purpose other than this one-off event? Because if I don't, I'm going to basically ask my team to go build something that is going to store totally useless information. Or if I think it's important for us to retain that information in some way, because I need to be able to go back to my system at some point in the future and say, hey, I need to find all the speakers who ever submitted a session in and around this subject matter, right? You're quickly running into a situation where what data points do I need to store and in what manner? And when you have to go build that out custom in any CRM, it's not built for that. You have to create a whole new architecture to try to figure out how and where that information is going to be valuable to the events team specifically. And then your natural question as a marketing ops go-to-market architect is going to be, I understand you want to capture this information, but do you think that this could be used in any other way? Right. And they might have ideas on how it might be used just because they're aware of the broader go-to-market motions on demand gen and all that other stuff. But if the answer is, I don't really know, they're going to say, I don't really want to store this information in here because it's going to sort of muck up the database and create a situation where I now have to create actual views where I block people from seeing specific objects. And now you're introducing new complexity into your CRM. So, okay, now I have to be aware that my events team should have visibility into these types of people and these types of records, but the sales team probably shouldn't unless that person actually ends up being a speaker. And then there's this and there's that. It's, oh my God. You know what? It might be better if we just have it in its own environment and it's protected. And then when necessary, we'll push some of the like relevant information back to our CRM to enable the rest of our sales and marketing team to be able to source those people, right? Like I probably don't need to know
There's like
every single thing
there's
submitted.
5 data points that truly matter for the sales team, the marketing team, the customer success team, the partner team. But the architecture of our dedicated system is mapped specifically to the architecture of how an event team thinks about metrics, data, ROI, et cetera.
Exactly. And so very concretely, if you've got a speaker CRM dedicated setup and you're letting your team run free, it enables them to go faster in a controlled way. And then everybody sits there and does this handshake agreement that says, oh, now that the event is done, here's the 4 things that we need to know in the sales and marketing side of the CRM and the map. It's, were they a speaker? Yes or no? Ever, just purely. And then how many times have they spoken with us? Numerical field, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. What is the average rating of their session? And let that get updated all the time. And then what are the top 3 or 4 or 5, or in fact, what are the topic tags, right?
Yep.
That they've ever
spoken on.
That's probably it, right? Because at that point, the easy questions that come up that can now have easy answers are, I would like to find anybody who's ever spoken on this subject and has a rating of 3.5 or better.
Yep.
And your marketing team, your customer success team, your sales team is like, great, I know how to go find that information in a CRM because it's stored on their actual contact record. And it's a special flag. I didn't have to do anything custom. It's just a couple of handful of fields that are actually useful fields for us. And the rest of that crazy nonsense which is actually hyper useful for the events team, that can stay in your dedicated environment, right? So it's not necessarily totally a thing that has to be sent to the CRM.